Yay! Are we live? I look like a clown, I realise. So, oh dear, how fun. So, I'm really sorry that I'm late. We are playing around with some new lighting, which is brighter than the sun. So I went upstairs to put some makeup on. I came down a bit late. I tried to make the video work, and then it just didn't work for some random reason, probably because it knows that I was running late anyway. So I'm really sorry, everybody, but thank you so much for joining me. We've got a really special class today. We're going to do yoga for the core, which, as I've written in the description, if you've read it, that's everything from the bottom of the neck to your lady parts or man parts here and everything in between. So it's all of this bit and then all of this bit as well. So we're going to have a look at all those muscles there. And what we will need to start the class is just a chair. So we're going to do the large majority of the warm-up and the beginning of the class on the chair. So pull up a pew, get nice and comfy, shake off the day, get rid of anything you don't want. Brill. I've got people saying that it's working, so that's really good. So I just feel like I've not worn makeup in like forever because of this lockdown, and maybe, you can let me know what you think in the comments. Quite white maybe. Anyway, so firstly, just to mention that I am doing this 10 weeks of happiness course to help raise money for the hospice. Hi Holly, you've joined, yay! So my local hospice here in Chesterfield, we are helping to look after COVID patients as well as non-COVID patients with a terminal diagnosis. And so anything that you can donate and give to the class, I will be giving half of that to my local hospice. So thank you to everyone who's already donated. Oh, Mum says I look nice. So maybe I think I need one shade darker on the face. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. It's all about yoga. So like I said, grab yourself a chair. The other things that we might need, and I'll come back so you can see my whole body. The other things we might need are a blanket, and we might need, I've got my old lady slippers on, not very yogi. We might need a blanket, we might need a couple of cushions or a bolster if you've got one, and you might also want a block, especially if you have, kind of weaker knees and weaker thighs there. So let's begin with our class. We're going to sit down on our chair, and if you've watched the Happy Spine video, you'll know how to sit on the chair properly for yoga. So when we sit down on a chair, we want to make sure that we're rooting down through the sit bones, rising up through the spine, just as we do with our standing postures. So we want to make sure that we're not slumping back on the chair because that's not very yogi. We want to make sure that we're grounding down and then lifting up through the spine. And we've got both feet comfortably on the floor with a 90-degree angle. So if you are a bit short or a bit tall, just either adjust your bum height or adjust your feet height so that you've got this nice 90-degree angle with the legs. Make sure that your feet are hip width apart and placed on the ground. And then we should have that really lovely, relaxed but alert, I shouldn't say alert, stay alert, that relaxed but upright posture. So we're here. Let the hands rest wherever they'll rest. And then just begin to close the eyes here. Start to feel the way that the body is resting on the chair. So start to notice the parts of the body that are in contact with the chair. So notice those sit bones. Notice the feeling of the feet as they're in contact with your carpet or your floor. Allow the weight of the feet to rest down into the floor, allowing the legs to become heavy here. And continue to inhale and exhale, becoming more familiar with that feeling of the breath. So as I said, if you're comfortable to close the eyes here, then closing the eyes. With every exhalation, it's a really good moment to just let go of whatever's happened today, whether you've had a really busy, stressful day, or whether you've had a nice relaxed day maybe. Just allow anything that's currently on your mind to just slowly trickle away. So we bring our attention right into this moment and bring our full attention to that feeling of the breath within the body. And it's sometimes quite nice to start sitting down because you can really try and direct the breath all the way up through the whole of the core, which is, as you know, the area we're working on today. You can direct the breath all the way up from the sit bones, up through the torso, and then up through the spine and the crown of the head. So you can just imagine the breath filling up the body on the inhalation, rising all the way up, lifting you up through your spine. Then on the exhalation, allowing the body to relax, but not to slump down. So you're just sending the breath back out the body, and you're gathering in, taking a little bit of engagement of the core at the end of that exhalation. And then on an inhalation, allowing the torso to rise and expand with the breath. So if you are comfortable to start to feel that expansion on the inhalation, and then with an exhalation, just make that little bit of an engagement in the core muscles, just at the end of that exhalation, before you release and expand again, just see if you can work with that and maybe do 5 breaths there. So a little bit of light engagement on the exhalation, just at the end of the exhalation. And then let go, expand, feel the lungs fill with air on the inhalation. Just continue that a few more times. I'm going to make sure that we do have the full hour class today. So we'll carry on a little bit at the end, making sure we've got more than enough time to focus on our breath, which, as you know, it's one of the major things in yoga. It makes it different from a lot of other exercises. We are really trying to tune into the breath, connecting mind, body, and breath. And then once you've done that 5 times and you've played with that engagement at the end of the exhalation, I want you to see if throughout the class you can carry on with that type of breath. So carry on with that little bit of engagement at the end of the exhalation. See if we can keep that up. And so what we're going to do is we're going to inhale, start to blink the eyes open, and then exhale here. On the next inhalation, we're going to stand up. Oh, I tricked you there. I said we're going to be sat down. Inhale, stand up, rise up, and then exhale, come to touch your bum on the edge of the chair. So we're exhaling, touch the bum on the edge of the chair. You can kind of sit back here if you want, but we're going to go all the way back up on the inhalation. Breathe lots of space into the body. Exhale, touch the chair. Inhale, get those legs and bum working. As you inhale, expand the chest. And then exhale, come to perch. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, sit down. Make sure the feet are really firmly planted here. Make sure you've got all 10 toes planted into the ground. Stand up. And then exhale, come back down. Lovely. Give the shoulders a little bit of a roll. Let go of everything that's happened so far in the day. Then I'm going to turn around again. And then I'm going to show you the next little thing that we're going to do. So we're going to inhale, arms up. We're going to stay seated. Expand the chest here. So we've got that feeling already from standing up. And then exhale, we're going to take the left hand to the right knee. We're going to take the right hand around the back of the chair. That is just to feel the chair for support, not to grip it and yank ourselves round. So before we turn around, we're going to inhale here, still looking to the front. Then we're going to exhale, do a little bit of a twist over to that right side. Inhale and expand. Exhale, maybe take another twist over to the right side, maybe go a bit further. And then inhale, and then twist again. So I hope that with your right hand, you're just gently using it to guide the body round rather than going further than is comfortable. And then we're going to inhale, take both hands up. Breathe lots of space into the belly, into the chest. Exhale down. Let's go again. We're going to inhale, take the arms up. And then we're going to exhale, take the right hand to the left knee. And we're going to take the left hand around the back of the chair. Again, we're going to inhale before we twist. Rise up through the chest. Exhale, we're going to start to twist around to the left side, looking to the left. Inhale again. Exhale, twist left. One more time, inhale. Rise up through the spine. And then exhale, take that twist. See if you can go a little bit further. Inhale, take the arms all the way up. Breathe a beautiful big breath into the chest and belly, and then exhale the arms down. Beautiful, everybody. You're doing such a good job. I mean, I can't see you, but I imagine you're doing a great job. Planting the feet firmly into the ground. We're going to inhale with the left hand. I was going to say right so that we could mirror each other, but you know what? Just do it with one hand. And we're going to come all the way up and over to the right side. You can place your right hand on your hip or on the chair, wherever helps you to stabilize. But rather than thinking of going as far as we possibly can, we're going to think about lifting on the inhalation and then bending over to the right side on the exhalation, breathing into the left side of the body. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift. Bringing the left arm back down. Take a little shoulder roll because that's always quite nice. And again, stabilizing yourself here on your chair. Nice tall position. Left hand on left hip. Inhale the right arm up. And then exhale, take that right arm over to the left side. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, right arm comes over, breathing into the juicy, juicy muscles on the right side of the body. And if you've not done this movement all day, it should feel really lovely. Well, even if you have done it all day, it should still feel lovely. Inhale, lift up. And then exhale, come down. Have a little bit of a shoulder roll again. Now we're going to do one of my favy movements, which I think I've put into almost every class now. And I'll just show you what we're going to do for this. We're going to be doing our little beach ball hug to opening the chest. So this sort of movement, but we're going to be using the chair to help us. So again, make sure you've got that nice upright position on your chair. And then we're going to inhale, open the chest first. And I'm going to ask you to take a hold of the back of the chair, just to, again, very gently, without yanking, help you to squeeze the shoulder blades down the back and lift up through the chest. So we're not trying to look at the floor behind us. We're trying to just gently gaze up, maybe to where the ceiling meets the wall. So we're not cranking the neck all the way back. And we're using the chair to take the shoulder blades down the back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And inhale, all the breath comes up into the chest. And then on an exhalation, we're going to tip from the pelvis. So remember I said that the core is from your lady parts or your man parts all the way to the top of the back. So we're going to curl the whole of the spine here, coming into what I like to think of as just a big C shape. So if you feel like a big C, then you're doing it right. Inhale, open up, take hold of the chair. And then exhale, come into that beach ball, hugging a beach ball. So we've got this big round ball in our hands, and we're just dipping the chin, probably now looking at where the floor meets the wall. Inhale, lift.
holding onto the chair for support and just to gently guide the shoulder blades down the back. Breathe into the chest. And then exhale, we're going to curl into that big round shape. We're holding our beach ball or maybe hugging a friend or family member that we've not seen in a while. Just in our imaginations, obviously. And then inhale, come back to center. Give yourselves another little roll here. And then now, in fact, I'll stay this way because it might be easier for you to see. We're just going to take a little forward fold here. So placing your feet onto the mat. Again, get that 90 degrees hip width apart. And if it feels nice, you can take the legs a little bit wider here because we're going to fold forward. So we're going to inhale, lift up through the spine, and then exhale, very slowly try and fold forwards, keeping the spine nice and long. And to do that, we need to lift through the crown of the head and then send the sit bones back and keep the chest nice and lifted here. And then once we've reached our maximum place with our spine nice and long, we can start to round the spine, take the hands down the legs. So that might be enough for you, or even here, you might want to stay here. If you feel like you can go all the way, holding onto the ankles or placing the hands on the floor, we're going to take the gaze through the legs and we're going to relax here for a moment or two, just allowing all the muscles in the spine and the back, not the muscles in the spine, all the muscles in the back to relax now. So breathing into the back of the body. And you might notice that when you breathe into the back and you allow the neck to relax, there's a nice release through the neck, through the shoulders, and maybe even in the lower back here, especially if you suffer from lower back problems. Then we're going to take the hands back onto the ankles and slowly take the hands just above the knees. We're going to again press the shoulder blades down the back, press back through the sit bones, lift through the crown of the head, take the shoulders down, and then use the core muscles to lift up here. So we did that in a nice long way, a nice long fashion. And then the next thing we're going to try is we're going to go straight into our chair pose, which you may have predicted because we're on a chair anyway, so we may as well practice. So what we're going to do here is we're going to inhale to come up just as we did at first. Take a big deep breath into the center of the chest. And then as we exhale, we're going to take the hands onto the hips and we're just going to bend the knees here. So I want to take my feet a little bit in so that they're hip width apart. And I'm just going to slowly start to bring my bum down. And I'm going to kind of aim for the chair. If you can get there, if you can perch your bum on the edge of the chair, then that's great because I'm not using the chair for much support here. But if you want it a little bit harder, then just hover above the chair. Or you might be here and that's fine. So just work with where you want to work with your chair pose. And again, just as we did with our forward fold, try and lift up through the crown of the head, send the sit bones back and try and create this really lovely long line all the way through the spine. Nice deep breaths. Then we're going to exhale and we're going to come to sit back on the chair and then just take a rest here. So we're going to do that again. We're going to inhale, take the arms all the way up, lift up into our standing pose. And then we're going to exhale, take the hands down onto the hips, or you can interlace the fingers and send the hands back if you like, whatever works for you, or a bit of Superman, or like this. And we're going to see if we can aim for the chair, keeping the feet exactly where they are. Maybe the bum will come down a bit further. Don't forget to breathe. Maybe we can just tap the chair with our bums and then inhale, come all the way back up. So we've done a few chair poses a little bit more slowly. I'm going to, rather than going back down onto the chair, I'm going to get you to go down and then come back up. Are we ready? Let's go. So we're going to inhale, become nice and tall. And then we're going to exhale, send the hips back, keep the feet where they are. Try not to let the knees come over the toes, so we're not rocking forward. We're sending the hips back. We're aiming for the chair. Can we reach the chair? Keep inhaling, exhaling. And then inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, bring the hands back down, hands on the hips, and we'll go straight away. Again, exhale, maybe we can touch the chair. Inhale, keeping the shoulder blades down. If we've reached the chair or we've reached our maximum point, come back up. And we'll do that one more time. Can't remember if I already said we were going to do it once more. I don't know. So exhale, come all the way down, keeping the feet really strongly connected to the mat, keeping the thighs rotating out. Can we touch the chair? Wonderful. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, maybe curse at me from your living room, because we've just really thoroughly worked the thighs there. And if you find that there's any problems with the knees or with any pain going on, or you just find it hard to control that movement, then you could try placing a block in between the legs. So you've still got the feet about hip width apart or slightly closer together, then you've got a block in between the legs as well, and that can just help with where to squeeze. And so we're going to go again, starting with that nice deep inhale, lifting up. This time we're going to come down. Don't worry too much about your bum coming to the chair, because we're just going to have a go at a bit of a chair twist. So like I said, I've got the block in between my legs. I'll come here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right hand over to the left side of my left leg, and then I'm going to open up with that left side, looking towards the left hand or to the left wall, and still sending the hips back if we can. So we look like this from the side. And then exhale, bring the palms of the hands together at the heart center, and inhale, lift up as if it was nothing at all. So if you find that the block is helping you here, or a book or anything else, then keep it there. If you feel like you want to try without, then that's up to you. We're going to go on the other side. Inhale, send the hands all the way up. And then exhale, we're going to send the hips back. So if you're still aiming for the chair, that's a good little exercise, because it means that you don't tip forwards. It means that you bring the hips back and that you can still see your toes. And then on this side, when we've kind of reached our maximum squat position here, we're going to take the left hand and place it on the outside of our right leg. Then we're going to open up to the right side. See if we can still keep the hips back. And then exhale, bring that right hand down, hands at the heart center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, come back down. So we're going to have another little go, because you can't ever do anything once in yoga. You've got to give it a good old go. So what we're going to do again, and you can either lose the chair now if you've got that positioning, if you can do your squats like this, your chair pose, or you can carry on working with the chair. I'm going to inhale, take the hands up, exhale, come down into your chair pose. Take the right hand on the outside of the left leg. Inhale, open up, and take 3 breaths here, trying to twist, just as we did when we were on the chair, twisting and opening to that left side. Maybe with every inhalation we can open more with the left hand. Maybe with every exhalation we can sink the hips down. And maybe you're telling me to hurry up because this hurts. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart center. Inhale, use those thigh muscles, those bum muscles to come all the way up. And exhale down and smile. So we're going to go on the right side, and I promise we'll do something much nicer after this. Inhale, lift, opening up the chest. Exhale, come back with the hips into your chair pose. And then from here, we're going to take the left hand onto the outside of the right leg, open up to the right side, looking to the right. Take 3 juicy deep breaths here. 1. See if you can open up on the next inhalation, and on the next exhalation, see if you can sink the hips down. And then after your last breath, we're going to take the hands back to the heart center. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, take the arms back down, shake the legs. And then we're just going to come onto the chair again for a few circles of the hips. So again, perching on the edge of the chair. We're going to just take the right knee, and you can use your hands on the chair to stabilize you. You're going to start to draw circles with the right knee. So usually we would do this lying down on the floor. It's making a squeaky noise, but I promise it's the chair and not me. So usually we would do this lying down, but because we're sat on the chair, because we're lifting up through the spine, we can actually use our core muscles to help us with this movement of the leg. So it's a little bit more work for the core. And then exhale, change direction. And actually it works the area around the hip flexors as well. And we should feel like we're nice and mobile in that right hip now. We're going to start with the left hip. So if you notice any creaks and cracks, that's good. Just take that circle a bit smaller if you need to. Remember to root down with the sit bones, rise up through the spine, and see if you can allow the core muscles to help you a little bit with this movement. Circling one way and then the other. And then we're going to bring that leg back down. And for some little bit of relief from the chair pose, we're going to now take a forward fold, but we're going to do it with the wide legs. So if that doesn't suit you, now that we've warmed up the hips, if it still feels too much, then just take the legs further in. So I'm going to come back to show you. We want to take the feet out nice and wide, just as wide as is comfortable. We're going to inhale, and just as we did before, we're going to come forward, keeping the spine nice and long to start with. We've got the toes pressing in towards the mat. If that's enough for you, then just stay here looking down towards the ground. If you want to take the hands down and come into a full forward fold here, then please do. Use the hands on the ground to support you here. And then we're just going to allow the head to lower down, look between the legs. Completely relax the neck here. And you'll notice now that this wide-legged forward fold gives you much more of a stretch around the hips. So like I said, adjust the legs, come in a bit if you need to, or if you fancy more of a stretch, take the legs out. Inhale, exhale. Allow the breath to pass along the length of the spine, all the way to your neck, all the way to the crown of the head. And then inhale, press into the hands if they're on the floor first, then take hold of your ankles, gently walk the hands up the legs, come to the thighs here with the hands, and then we're going to inhale, take the shoulder blades down, lift up and use the core muscles to bring ourselves back up, and then walk the legs in here. So just make sure that you feel okay. And then from here, bring my chair around again. We're going to do a little bit of a cycling movement, which again will help to engage all of these lovely abdominal muscles, but also there's some options if that's not right for you as well. So we're going to start off just by lifting the left leg in and placing that left leg down, bringing the right leg in. So when it comes down, you only need to rest the toes on the floor. Inhale, bring the right leg in. Try not to send the body back when you do this. You can use the chair to keep you nice and upright. So bring the right leg in and down, left leg in and down, and just see if you can allow the core muscles to do some of that work for you. So helping you to bring the legs in And you can experiment with whether that feels nicer on the inhalation or the exhalation. Sometimes they say that exhaling to do the effortful part of the movement is better than inhaling to come down. Then if you want a little bit more action, you can take both of the legs out long, and then you can start to lift the left leg, bring it in, and then send it back down. Then lift the right leg, send it back down. And then we can almost move this into a little bit of a cycling movement. And realize I'm going backwards now on my bike. So you can start to move into that cycling movement, taking one leg in and back down. You can use the core to help you here, or you can just lift up and stick with this one, which I'm going to stick with just because that just feels better for me today. Or with this one, you can try and kind of keep the toes very lightly off the ground. Cycle, cycle. I've been practicing this, but it's really hard to do. So I'm going to stick to my little ladylike movement. Inhale in, use the core. And then exhale down. And then what I'm going to do for you crazy yogis there is show you how to do a boat pose by using the chair. So we're going to hold on to the back part of the chair here. We're going to tip the upper body back, and then you can bring up one leg, and you might want to stay there. Or you can bring up the other leg, and you can use both core muscles to come into your boat pose using the chair, which actually gives you more support because you can grip onto the chair, instead of just kind of having your hands here as we would do on the floor. So you choose your movement. You can either be lifting the legs in and out, taking the breath up and down, which is the one I'm going to do. You can try that cycling movement, which I find really, my coordination today is just terrible. So you can be doing that one, or you can have your hands on the back of the chair, lifting up into your boat pose, and then using the core muscles to scoop the legs in towards the body. So just do that a few more times, choosing your movement or your posture. See if you can keep the chest lifted no matter which one you're doing. I'm going to use this as a terrible excuse to have a little bit of water. If you're doing the cycling movement, now go in the other direction, which is the one that I tried to do, the weird way first. So cycling backwards, if you've been cycling forwards. And then take one more breath in your movement and then come back down to sit on the chair. We're going to casually stand up and discard our chair now. And we're going to come down onto all fours on the mat. So take your time in getting here. And then from here, we're going to take the hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're going to inhale, lift the chest. Breathe into the chest. And then exhale, we're going to come into that C shape again. So it's exactly what we did on the chair when we were hugging a beach ball. Inhale, lift through the chest. So again, rather than taking the neck all the way up towards the sky, or taking the face all the way up towards the sky, we're just going to gently lift so that we're not overextending in the neck. And then we're going to exhale, tuck the chin and look through the legs. And then as we move through our cat-cows, moving with our own breath, we can start to do a bit of freestyle cat-cow. So you might want to wiggle your bum left and right. You might want to look to your left bum cheeks just to check that it's still there. And then look to your right bum cheek. And then just give yourself a little wiggle, maybe rolling the hips around. Maybe just seeing how you feel today in the body. And then now that we've had fun, we're going to do some serious core movements. So from here, we're going to make sure that we press firmly into both hands, press into the tops, into the shins as well. I was going to say the top of the legs, but it's not. And then we're going to inhale, start to take the right hand up, test your balance. Can you guess what's coming? And then take the left leg back and see if we can hold this tiger movement for a few more breaths. And then exhale down. So it's a really good one to see if we're super wobbly there, because if we are, we might need to just engage the core a little bit more, engage into the foundations of the posture, which are our 2 hands and our 2 legs. So make sure we're not completely flopping the belly here or curling into that C shape. We're somewhere in the middle. Engage the core, and then go again with the left hand, reaching the fingertips forward. Take the right leg back, pointing the right toes down towards the ground, extending the leg back, and then exhale. Oh no, wait, we're going to stay here for a few breaths. Inhale, looking down towards the ground so that we keep the spine in a nice long formation. And then exhale, take the left hand down, take the right leg down, and we're going to have another go. So either you can keep working on holding that posture for your balance, if you feel that's something you need to work on, or you can exhale, tuck elbow to knee, inhale back out, then exhale back down. So you can make it more of a moving posture, more dynamic. So inhale, left fingertips all the way out, right heel is sent to the back of the room. Maybe we exhale, come into that curl. Inhale, send it out and down. So we can carry on there, moving with your own breath. So you inhale to come up, exhale to curl, inhale, come up again and then down. Or the one I'm going to do is I'm going to extend right fingertips out, left heel back. And I'm really going to try and make sure that my limbs are in a straight line. So I've not got my leg coming all the way up towards the ceiling. I'm really focusing on elongating the leg out towards the back of the room, and then really stretching and reaching the fingertips out towards the front of the room. And I'm going to work on my core by breathing here, work on my balance, and then exhale down. If you prefer that dynamic movement, then go with that one. Sending out the left arm and the right leg now, checking that everything's in a straight line, and then really trying to press through the left heel. Inhale, nope, the right heel. Inhale through the left fingertips, and then exhale, come back down. We're going to take the legs out wide, and we're going to treat ourselves to a nice, relaxed child's pose. Or if you don't find it comfortable to come all the way down, we can keep the hips where they were in our tabletop. We can send the hands forward, coming into puppy pose, and just allowing the spine to have a nice, good stretch here. So wherever you are, see if you can get the forehead towards the floor. You can use blocks and bricks to help you, because we're just going to try and relax into the posture, breathing into the back of the body. So in your child's pose or in your puppy pose, breathe into the back of the body now. And then on your next inhalation, slowly pressing into the fingertips, coming all the way back to seated, or maybe kneeling up if seated is not okay for you. And then shuffling yourself back, we're going to bring ourselves back into tabletop, and we're going to walk the hands forward slightly. Then we're going to tuck the toes under and come into a plank position. So in our plank pose, what you want to do is make sure that your shoulders are over your wrists and that you're sending the legs out long, but that your hips, they're not high like this. It's not like going into down dog mode, that you bring your hips all the way down. Then exhale, lower the knees down. So if that felt like too much for you, you can feel free to stay down with your knees and then just work on your plank like this. In fact, let's all bring our knees down, because I'm going to show you what we're going to do with our plank, and therefore you might want to take this option, you might want to decide to do this. So from this plank pose here, with our knees down, with our toes on the ground, we're going to take the right hand into the center of the mat. We're going to spin the left knee, well, the left lower part of the leg, so that our foot now becomes, or our shin of the right leg becomes parallel with the front edge of the mat, if that made any sense. And we're going to send the left leg out long. We're going to flex the toes, send the heel out So just as we did with our tiger pose, we're going to send that leg out and elongate it. Then I realize here my shoulder's no longer over my wrist, so I'm just going to change that. And then I'm going to inhale, open up here. So we're in a modified side plank. And if you're feeling super duper strong, then you can lift up your bottom leg and you can bring it towards the vertical so that it joins the left leg. Get my lefts and rights right. And then gently lower back into that modified one, modified side plank, and come down. And then from here, we're going to come into plank again. So pressing the toes, pressing into the toes, sending the heels back, hips low, engaging the core, or you can be here. Take a few breaths in your plank. Then we're going to take the left hand into the center of the mat, spin the right lower half of the leg so that it's now parallel with that short edge of the mat. Send the left leg out long, check your shoulder is over your wrist, and then open up. I realize I'm now facing away from you. Let me spin around, see if I can do that this way. That's it. Open up to that right side. So really lift and open. Oh, I've got a hair in my mouth. Open to the right side, maybe even looking up towards the right hand. And then extending all the way down through that right leg. If you're feeling brave, maybe, oh, I just heard a click in my hip. That can't be good. Maybe you come into full plank, full side plank, or maybe you stay down here. Exhale, come back down. And then from here, we're just going to do a few really gentle cat-cows. And then I'm going to invite you to come into your plank, either with the knees down or in full plank. And then I'm going to ask you to go up into your left side plank, transition back to full plank, and come into right side plank. You can do all of this with your knees down. So we're going to go from left to right and we're going to keep changing. So I'll show you what that looks like with the knees down. So making sure that I've got my shoulders over my wrists, and then I'm going to open up to the left side, breathing into the chest and the left side of the body. Exhale down, spin around. And this time, when we're moving from one part to another, it's harder to move the hands, so I just try and place them back down into the center of the mat each time. Moving through that middle plank and then coming up into a side plank. And then, like I said, if you're feeling very brave, and I'll only show you this once, you can go from your full plank, lifting up, side plank, take a deep breath, back into your full plank, and then lift up, woo, and then exhale down, bring the knees down. So take a little break, especially if you've had a go at the full version, which I've tried to show you there against my will. And then we're going to go again. So I'm inviting you to either take knees down or coming into full plank. So assume your positions now and then work into your side. It's much more lovely with the knee down. Working into the other side, still pressing into that left hand, so we're building a little bit of strength there into that left wrist. And obviously if you need to have your fists down because you've got wrist things going on, wrist problems, then please do. Working from side to side and going at your own pace. And then when you've had quite enough, take your hands back to the mat and come down into a child's pose or puppy pose. This time we're going to take the hands behind the back if we're in child's pose, or just keep the hips lifted. Yeah, that's the right word. And maybe if you need to get further down, you could take some cushions and some pillows here, or a bolster. So I can show you what that looks like, because we are going to do a little bit of a movement into child's pose. If you don't have a bolster and you do suffer with bad knees or hips and you can't get all the way down into child's pose, then get yourself enough padding now just so that you can comfortably sit down, and you can use blocks and stuff with cushions on top if you need to. So we're down here in child's pose, and then we're going to inhale, take the arms and lift all the way up, bringing the arms above the head and coming up to kneeling. Then we're going to exhale, we're going to send the hands back into like a backwards V shape, and we're going to come all the way down, allowing the shoulders to round forwards. Inhale, we're going to use this as a nice flowing movement. So inhale up, exhale, come down, keep the spine nice and long here as you come down. And when you reach the bottom, allow the shoulders to round forwards. Inhale, lift all the way up. And then exhale, we're going to come back down. So you're still using those core muscles to bring you up. Because when we start to inhale and lift up into the movement, you're taking some of that weight into those back muscles, taking some of the work into the back muscles. Exhale up and come down. And one more time, we're going to inhale, lift up. Breathe into the chest, into the belly, and then exhale, come to sit down on your heels or on your bolster. And I'll see what kind of sweet things I've got planned for you on the other side of my sheet. Let me see how long we've got left. Oh, lucky for you guys, we don't have forever left before our Shavasana. But what we are going to do is we're going to just try and work this little bits and bobs that we've learned. We're going to work it into a bit of a sun salutation. So we were here on the floor, don't jump up just yet, just like I did. We're going to take the hands forward, coming into tabletop. We're going to tuck the toes under, and we're going to press into all the fingers, lift the hips into downward dog. But before I do that, I need to make sure I'm dressed properly. There we go. So placing the hands on the mat, tucking the toes, lifting all the way up, sending the hips back for downward dog. So bending the knees generously because it's our first downward dog of the day. Really trying to stretch out through the torso. Inhale here. Trying to rotate the shoulder blades down the back. Pressing the fingers into the mat. Lift up through the arms, through the armpits. And then exhale. We come back down. Then we're going to take the left leg up. Then the right leg. Bend the knees. Lift the chest. Just as we did in that last movement with the child's pose. Nice long back. It's not coronavirus. Promise. And we're going to come all the way up. I don't sneeze in public anymore. Can't do it because people run away. And we're coming back up. So we're getting ready for our sun salutation now. So we've got our feet firmly planted into the ground. Somebody said something, but I can't read it. Bless you. Thank you, Yana. Thank you. So we're going to inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, come down. Remember what we've been doing with that nice long spine. Bend the knees so that we can start to bring the hands down. Take the left leg all the way back and lower that left leg down. Inhale, take the right leg back. And then from here, we would usually move into our chaturanga. But this time I'm going to ask you to flip that bottom leg down, come up into your side plank. If you're feeling adventurous, then take the bottom leg up to join the left leg into a full side plank, or simply take the lovely version. And then flipperoo to the right side and come back down. Move with your own breath. And then we're going to take the body weight forward. We're going to lower the body down and then lift up into either a modified up dog like I'm doing, or you can lift the knees and come up into full up dog. And then take the hips back, press into the toes, press into the fingers, hips up and back into downward dog. Breathe into the chest, Send the shoulder blades down the back. Remember, we're focusing on the spine, the core. So keep the knees nice and bent so you can focus on lengthening through the upper body. And then inhale. We're going to tiptoe the feet all the way forwards. Keep the knees nice and bent. But from here, it ain't plain sailing because we're going to send the hips back and we're going to come into a chair pose. So take the hands at the heart. Inhale and lift. See if you can keep sending the hips back. And then we're going to try and open up to that left side, looking towards the left hand. Exhale, chair pose. And then take the left hand to the right leg. Open up with the right hand. Keep sending the hips down. Exhale, hands back to the heart. Inhale, come up. Walk the legs. Take a moment to rest. We're going to have another little go at that just so that we've got it. Then you can always come back to it if you want to master it even more. So take a nice, strong mountain pose at the top of your mat or have a drink of water if you need it. Then we're going to inhale. Take the arms all the way up. And remember, you don't have to listen to me. You can move with your own breath. That's the best thing to do in yoga. Come all the way down, forward fold, bend the knees. Take the hands to the mat. Send the right leg back. Take the right knee down. Send the left leg back. And we're going to move through our plank position. So if you want to come up into full plank, then I invite you to do that now. Everybody else, come up, side plank. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come up, side plank on the other side. Exhale, come down. Move the body weight forward. Keep the elbows tucked in. Lower the body down. Lift up into your up dog or modified up dog with the knees down. Exhale, take the hips back. Tuck the toes under. Press into the hands. Lift the hips up and back. Come into your most beautiful down dog yet. We're pressing into the fingers, lifting up through the armpits, sending the shoulder blades down the back, bending the knees to stretch the upper body all the way from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Then we tippy toe, all the way to the front of the mat. Inhale here, exhale. And then we're going to prepare for our chair pose. So take the hips back as we bring the hands up towards the heart center. Take a breath here. Send the right hand to the left leg and then open up to that left side. Exhale, bring the hands back to the heart center. Keep the hips down. Take the hands to the right leg. Open up to the right side. Exhale down. Maybe one more breath in chair pose. Maybe we inhale and burst open in a nice Tadasana. Oh, who's out of breath? Let's see if we've got time for one more. Oh no, it's time for Shavasana. Oh, sorry everyone. But we don't have time for more sun salutations. But if you want a super duper yoga workout, then you can just keep repeating those sun salutations. So I want you to come down very gently towards the mat because we're not going to go right into Shavasana yet, but make sure you've got your blankets, your falsies and everything that you might need, jackets, socks, all the rest of it. So we're going to come down first towards the mat and we're going to come onto our backs. Oh, my knee just cracked. Didn't hurt. Anyway. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to take the left knee towards the left armpit. We're going to take the right knee towards the left armpit. Have a little rock and roll, see how that feels. And then we're going to send the left sole of the foot towards the sky and grab the outside of the foot with the left hand or grab the ankle with the left hand. Same for the right foot. So send the right sole of the foot to the sky, then grab the outside of the foot with the right hand, or grab the ankles here, and we're in happy baby. So we have to smile and rock and roll and just give the back a nice massage whilst we work on a little bit of that hip mobility here as well. Very good. Take the legs back into your Apanasana, where we bring the knees in towards the body. Maybe at this stage you want to curl the chin up towards the knees if that feels nice. And then from here, I'm going to take the hips in little circles by rotating the knees around, go in the other direction. And then we're just going to slowly place the feet back onto the mat and get ready for our Shavasana here. So I've asked you to grab some pillows today because it's always really good to treat ourselves in our Shavasana. So I like to have my bolster underneath my legs. I don't think we've done this in our 10 weeks of yoga yet. So prepare to be amazed. Feels really nice. Or you could lie on your side, or you could, have your Shavasana exactly how you want it. And then once you feel like you've got comfortable, you've got your jacket on, your big fluffy socks or whatever you need, and you've got maybe a bit of support under the legs or wherever, then just start to come down onto the mat. Allow the legs to relax and the feet to turn out. And you can close the eyes here if that feels nice. So making sure now that the arms are relaxed and that you've got the backs of the hands touching the floor with the palms facing up. And now allowing the breath to return to its normal, natural rhythm. So start to feel the weight of the feet and the legs as they are allowed to completely relax into the mat, into your cushions, or into your bolster. Feel the weight of the back of the pelvis, the back of the bum, as you allow your bum, your lower back, your hips to completely relax. And allowing the whole of your arms to relax down, noticing which parts of the arms are in contact with the mat or the floor. And then allowing the whole of the upper body, the whole of the torso and that poor core area that we've been working really hard today. Just allow all the muscles there to completely relax. Not holding anything here in the core, in the tummy muscles or in the back muscles. Just making sure that the shoulder blades are nice and relaxed, the shoulders are down. So it's no effort whatsoever to lie here. And then just taking the attention to the back of the head, to that really heavy feeling of the head completely relaxing down and feeling totally supported by the mat. And then here, you might want to just check that all your face is relaxed. So your forehead, your eyes, eyebrows, cheeks, jaw. the tongue. And then just lie here for a few more moments. I'm going to read a little quote to you that I really like that's very relevant to what's happening today. So stay lying down if that feels comfortable for you. And I want you to just listen to this and just let it pass by you, or, you know, however you feel. Happy am I as things whirl about me. In their coming and going, I remain happy. For free am I of passions rising and falling. Happy am I as things whirl about me. In their coming and going, I remain happy. For free am I of passions rising and falling. And I think that's really lovely because it just shows you that yoga is all about, no matter what happens to you, no matter what's going on in the world that we can't control, what we can control or what we can work on is our reactions to that. So our passions rising and falling, we can actually work on that through doing lots of breathing and meditation practices and just kind of connecting with the self and with that kind of true self within. And as we do that, and as we spend more time doing that than, you know, trying to control everything that's going on in the outside world, then we actually become, I think, much happier. And I think that's what this little quote is all about. So now, focusing again on the breath, taking a few deeper breaths in. Maybe starting to wiggle the fingers as you lie down, wiggle the toes. And then whenever you're ready, you can either take a nice big stretch as you lie down before rolling onto your side and coming up into a comfortable seated position. Or you might wish to just roll up and come straight up. Or you can stay here as long as you like, because we're not in a yoga studio. So feel free to just enjoy taking this time for yourself, because we all know how important it is at the moment. So I'm going to say a huge thank you, and thanks for everyone for your patience at the beginning of this. It was all a bit mad. Thanks for sticking around a bit longer at the end, and thank you also for all your payments to the class, because as you know, half of it's going to the hospice. And just take really good care of yourselves, and I'll see you back here next week. Bye.